Hello,
Hello
everyone,
everyone
and
and
welcome
welcome
to
to
today's
today's
webinar.
webinar.
My
My
name is
name is
Sharon
Sharon
Mandar, and
Mandar and
most of
most
you
of you
know me
know me
already.
already.
I'm an
I'm an
account
account
executive
executive
here at
here at
Stratoscale,
Stratoscale
and I'm
and I'm
excited to
excited
be
to be
hosting
hosting
this
this
session
session
today.
today.
Today
Today
is
is
our
our
sixth
sixth
session,
session
and
and
we'll
we'll
focus
focus
on
on
auto-scaling
auto-scaling
groups
groups
in the
in the
enterprise
enterprise
environment,
environment.
and I
And I
hope you
hope
will
you will
find it
find it
very,
very,
very
very
helpful.
helpful.
I'm
I'm
pleased to
pleased to
introduce
introduce
today's
today's
speaker,
speaker,
Liaz
Liaz
Kamper.
Kamper.
Liaz has
Liaz has
been with
been with
Stratoscale
Stratoscale
for
for
over
over
5 years
5 years
and is
and
a
is a
member
member
of
of
our
our
cloud
cloud
architect
architect
team.
team.
He
He
knows
knows
Symphony
Symphony
inside
inside
out.
out.
Now,
Now,
before I
before I
hand the
hand
mic
the mic
over to
over to
Liaz, I
Liaz,
have
I
a
have
few
a few
items to
items to
cover.
cover.
First of
First
all,
of all,
today's
today's
webinar will be
webinar will be
about
about
20
20
minutes,
minutes,
followed
followed
by
by
a
a
short
short
question and
question and
answer.
answer.
The
The
webinar will
webinar
be
will be
available on
available on
demand
demand
after the
after
live
the live
session,
session,
and we
and
will
we
be
will be
sending
sending
the
the
recording
recording
out
out
via
via
email.
email.
Now,
Now,
if you
if
have
you have
any
any
questions
questions
for
for
our
our
speaker,
speaker,
please
please
feel
feel
free
free
to
to
send it
send
through
it
the
through
Ask
the
a
Ask a
Question
Question
tab.
tab.
We'll
We'll
answer these
answer these
questions at
questions
the
at
end
the
of the
end of the
session.
sessions.
And if you
And if you
don't get
don't get
your
your
question
question
answered
answered
during
during
today's
today's
webinar,
webinar,
we will be sure to follow up afterwards. So without any further ado, I'd like to kick things off by welcoming Liaz. Liaz, over to you.
Thanks, Sharon. Hi, everybody. We're going to talk today on auto-scaling group. Actually, you asked for that in the last poll that we had in the last webinar, and I think it's a very useful subject, especially if you want to look at your Symphony as a base for cloud operations, running instances, and actually doing that very efficiently. In many cases, anything other than one instance is always being deployed as an auto-scaling group. And we're going to see today why would some auto-scaling group and how. So first, we're going to introduce auto-scaling group. What does the concept mean? What is it used for? We're going to have a short use case described for you. Actually, that's, I think, one of the most common use cases for auto-scaling group. And we'll go together on the UI and a very short introduction of exactly how to do it in the Symphony UI, how to set it up, and how to use it. And then we're actually going to have a live demo where we start an instance, and then we're going to stress it and see how the auto-scaling group reacts. So what exactly is the auto-scaling group? Auto-scaling group allows you to scale in and out. I remind you guys to scale out means to increase the number of instances in the cloud, well, as opposite to scaling up, which is actually increasing the size of an instance in the cloud. So you remember you're allowed to scale out the number of instances. Now, it's the most common example people will give is like the Monday morning. During the weekend, nobody is using emails, for example, so there's no reason to hold a lot of instances that will supply mail service. So everybody come Monday morning, they send receive from the mail server, and the mail server goes in high capacity. So then the question is how I'm going to tailor that. How many mail servers do I need? How many web servers do I need for restaurants before lunch? So the question, the answer used to be just give like the average. During weekend, those will be idle, and during peak hours, you will just gonna drop some of those connections and going to give service. Working in the cloud allows you to be very efficient in how you're using the cloud. So once you can scale in and you can scale out, you can scale out the web server of a restaurant just before lunch to accept all the reservations and all the deliveries, and then you can scale in, meaning to reduce the number of instances. And on days that the restaurant is off, you can actually turn off the web server, just leave one web server, and so on. And then the question is, how would the web servers, how would the cloud know when to scale in and when to scale out? So it really depends on some parameters that we'll go into later. And the instances are also launched according to a predefined configuration. So the next question you might ask yourself is, what instances are going to be launched. Am I launching a big instance? Am I launching a small instance? When can I set those launch configurations? What can I put in the launch configuration? How much automation can I put in the launch configuration? Well, everything is predefined, and we'll go into all the configuration that you can put into Symfony later. Right now, the auto-scaling group is relevant to instances only. So if the next question is, can I auto-scale the database instances? Can I auto-scale load balancers? Can I auto-scale the SQS? So you probably know they are based on instances in most public clouds, also in Symfony. But no, right now it's relevant only to instances. Those services as other means of scaling in and out, but not for auto-scaling. And one of the most important things is some users feel that now they're out of control, meaning I'm able to scale out, so I'm able to scale out the website of a restaurant to 10 servers, and something might go wrong in the site, so the site just goes down, and then maybe the auto-scaling group will say, okay, now I can reduce just before lunch from 100 servers into 5, and then when the network problem comes is off or is fixed, then no one can access the web server. So you can actually protect that service from scaling in, so it will be on the 100, so the large amount of instances, the maximum amount of instances, and no, you are allowed to scale it in. So it really depends on matter of policy, but everything is possible in auto-scaling group. So let's go quickly on an auto-scaling group use case. So as I said, there's a web server, and the web servers can be scaled in and out according to several parameters, and that's important. One parameter can be the CPU usage. So how much stress is on the CPU, and I'm actually going to give an example later, which is okay, but in some cases it's not enough, because maybe you're not, maybe the server is very low usage, but the network traffic is very hard on it. Okay, so it exceeds the amount of traffic the virtually can extend. So we need more than CPU usage. So in this specific case in Symfony, we also allow network traffic, and maybe in the future we're gonna give more parameters. Another thing that you might ask yourself is how those parameters are being set, because it needs to follow some kind of line. Let's say you're saying once it's over 70%, it will scale up 70% of CPU usage. So the next question is, how would you define those 70%? If it's 68%, then jump over 71% and then back to 68%. Would you scale out? Would you scale in? So that's actually a very complicated question, because now we need to follow an algorithm. And you used to be an algorithm of staying in between a minimum and a max ranges, and this is actually deprecated also in AWS. And now there's better algorithms that actually follow lines. So with the algorithm knows to sense if the parameter actually cross the, let's say, 70% threshold, and it's above 70%, enough time to declare, okay, now this auto-scaling group needs to be scaled out. I'll give you an example later. And another thing that comes to mind is, okay, so I'm scaling out the web servers. How am I going to put everything behind a single endpoint? The natural answer is a load balancer. So a load balancer is the load balancer, and it has a target group that actually aggregates all the instances that sit behind the load balancer. And we have a new feature auto-scaling group that actually allows you to spawn those instances inside the predefined target group, and actually use that target group as the health for the instances. That's very useful, because you can say, okay, so when do I know the instance is healthy? You can say the instance is healthy when it's active, or maybe the instance is healthy when it can ping. But if you're using ALB, application load balancers, like we discussed before in webinars, you can actually choose a very sophisticated path inside the HTML to understand if it helps or not, and that path can do all kind of tests inside the web service. So you can see the test itself, the parameter itself, or should we scale in and out, can be very, very sophisticated. So before we continue, we'd like to ask you questions to answer this poll. So the first poll, let's just bring it up. Okay, so the first poll, I'm curious to know, they actually used auto-scaling groups in the past. So did you just did it once for testing purposes? Is it already in test toward production, or are you actually doing it now for production? So I'll give you a few seconds to answer. Okay. So, okay, that's actually great, because one third of you actually have an auto-scaling group in production, which is great. And two-thirds say that you haven't used auto-scaling group at all. That's great. You came to the right place to learn about auto-scaling group. And the next poll is, bring it up. How do you set your auto-scaling group? Did you use automation in order to do that? Did you use the UI manually? Let's give a few seconds to answer that. Okay, so all of you have actually used the UI only to set the auto-scaling group, and that's okay. I'm just reminding you that there are other ways to set auto-scaling group, and maybe we'll talk about it later if time permits. And the last poll, bring it up. Are you actually connecting the auto-scaling group to a load balancer, or are you just using it to spawn a lot of instances and then connect one of those instances independently? Okay, so all of you that are using load balancers, actually connecting the load balancer manually, and you'll see that in Stratoscale you can actually be much more efficient. So let's do some auto-scaling hands-on, and we'll log into a system. I'm working on latest 5.3 system. And I already actually set up auto-scaling group. I'm going to do it again with you guys, but I have auto-scaling group set up. So first, when I'm creating an auto-scaling group, there is a name. So I'm going to do my demo ASG. I can give you a description. The minimum size is, what's the minimum again, in number of instances to scale the auto-scaling group? 3. Maximum means 10. No matter what happens, it will not scale over 10. Now, desired capacity is kind of tricky. What exactly does desired capacity mean? So desired, you can, by the way, always over the question mark and get it. So this is like, we can say that the sweet spot. What's the usual number of one to give the algorithm to leave the auto-scaling group around? In this specific case, I will just go, for example, 3. So it will always keep it on 3 unless something happens, and then it will be able to go down into 2 and then back to 3. When it goes over 3, that means something happened and I need to scale out. But 3 is the sweet spot. This is again very simple. The subnet. I will add it here a plus in case you need to create another subnet. Now the launch configuration, that's a tricky part. So I can actually press plus here and create another launch configuration. Launch configuration is which kind of instances would you like me to launch in this auto-scaling group. So I'm just going to give it the name, Liaz demo LC1. This is the image. Okay, you can choose any image that you would like. The instance type. First question, can I choose the different instance type to be launched during the auto-scaling group? So can I start with a large instance and then just scale small instances? The answer is no. It's uniform. All all the instances are identical. So I can choose medium, for example. Security groups will be identical for all the auto-scaling groups, okay? Here, and then I can choose a key pair. Okay, in this specific case, I would choose a key pair. Okay, again, key pair is identical to all the instances. And I can put here an identical cloud init file for all of them. Okay, it might be similar to what you know from creating a virtual machine. Can do okay, and next thing, then I can tag. So the tag will tag all the instances. Now here's come the fun part, when you can say, okay, so I can choose CPU utilization. That means that first, this means 300 seconds from the virtual machine startup, I will start to count CPU utilization. Why? Because in many virtual machines, there's a high CPU load when the virtual machine is up and boots up, and we don't want to use that in order to scale other things, because then the auto-scale group will always explode. The target is actually, like I said, the target is the algorithm. The new algorithm will say, try to use 70% as a threshold. If it goes for 72 and then back down, usually it will not scale out. And here I can disable scale in. So whatever happens, you do not, the auto scale group does not delete the auto scale. And then I can do the same thing for traffic in and traffic out. So let's focus on CPU utilization, and then you can just go finish. I'll go cancel because I don't want to create another auto scale group, which I already have. So I created an auto scale group, which you can see here. And in the instances, you can see that this auto scale group is already up and running, and the CPU is very low. So let's log into this auto scale group. Okay, it will take some time for the SSH to log in because of internal CentOS problems. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stress it. Oh, I need to. Okay, so I need to install stress like I did before. Actually, quite simple to stress. You can just go dd dev 0 to dev null. Okay, let me just quickly run the installation of stress. So what I need to do here is, for if you want to test it like I'm testing it, you need to copy. Oh, that's actually a good example. Let's install get. Okay. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to install stress, and stress will allow me to stress the system. But basically what will happen is that if I'm stressing this virtual machine will allow me to stress the system. So let me just see if I can overcome it. Just a second. פתיחות פתאום, נעלם לי מה שאני צריך. Okay, so now you should see some stress going on in this CPU. Okay, you can actually do that in the monitoring. So here it comes up, goes up into 22%. So eventually, if this succeeds, the auto-scaling group will come up. Okay, there we go. Now it's 46%. It will gradually go, I think, all the way into 100%. And then once it hits the 70% sweet spot, it will stay there for enough time. Then it will create an auto-scaling group. It will create another auto-scaling group. Now, let's see what happens if I want to actually attach that into a load balancer. So I already have a load balancer up and running here. There you go. And I can actually we can do a demo target group. And let's keep it very simple. Let's keep it TCP on port 80. Let's not do ALB. And the next thing, we can just go and just create a target group with no instances. Okay, that's fine. And then once we're going to autoscale group, okay, we can start an autoscaling group. Okay, let's go ASG1. The limit is 3, 10. Again, so we went all through this part. CPU, let's say 60, doesn't really matter. And then in the advanced, I can actually choose target group. So when I'm choosing target group, I can choose here this target group. Okay, and operation cooldown, again, you can just, it's very easy to understand. Once it's start an instance, it will wait 60 seconds until it will even choose whether to start a new instance. This is for systems to follow some kind of guidelines. And termination policy is, what would you like me to kill when I'm starting a new instance? The newest, the oldest, or the oldest launch configuration, since I can have several launch configurations. By the way, why would I like to have several launch configurations? If I want to change a version, because I can attach several launch configurations to an autoscaling group, and I'm reducing the oldest one, that be a completely new version of the instance. So let's choose oldest. Again, here I also protect instances, and then I go finish. Okay, so let's see what happens in instances. So in this specific case, the stress went just into 50%. Let's see if we can stress it a little bit more. Okay. Okay, this will stress the CPU higher. And as you can see, I have an autoscaling group already starting to spawn. As soon as it will spawn, you can see it will be connected directly into a target group. If I'm going to the autoscaling group, I can press here. I have all the instances that are actually connected now. You can have the state. You can actually configure them as standby. You have all the events. Same goes for this autoscaling group. Okay, you can see instances. Okay, you can press here and go to the instance. And let's go and see okay, so this is active. I'm going to the load balancer, going to this target group. And as you can see in this target group, I already have the autoscaling group, which I chose. When this will scale out, it will be automatically joined into the same target group, and that target group has an endpoint. Okay, great. Let's go see if that experiment succeeds. Okay, so this one actually works fine. So it went into 90%, and you will see that my ASG will spawn another instance in a second. Okay, so I can go here, autoscaling group. This is my ASG, And then if I go to instances, it will start another instance very soon. Actually, you should see that here in a second. It will take some time. Okay, so while we're waiting for the instance for the algorithm to kick in and then create a new instance, I'll be more than happy to take questions, and you'll be welcome to keep on looking at the screen in the auto-scaling groups. Okay, so the first question that comes up is, can I use auto-scaling group with Terraform? Yes, actually it's very good to use auto-scaling group with Terraform. You can do all kinds of automations. You can change from blue-green deployment. We actually have very nice video about using auto-scaling group and blue-green deployments. You can find it in the YouTube channel. And another question that I see here, what else I can do with auto-scaling group? So the next thing that you can do with auto-scaling group is, for example, I can attach for this auto-scaling group a new one. So I can do Liaz demo launch configuration 2, and that launch configuration 2 can have a bigger, okay, so a bigger instance, again on the same VPC with the same keeper. And if I go okay, the next time the launch config, the autoscale group will come up. It will come up with T2 large instead of the medium. Okay, so if I go to autoscaling group, for example, here, this one, and I want to modify it. Actually modify that to 1. And it says it might be terminated. That's fine. I go finish. And instances will actually get terminated. When I bring this back up, it will launch. Oh no, I will put in this ASG, actually I modify that to include a new one. Okay, I can touch a new one. And when I'm doing 2, it will start launch according to this launcher configuration, and that will launch bigger instances. Okay, so you can see that here. And by the way, as I said before, this reached 100%, and this instance came up. And here you can see that I'm going from 3 to 1, and I chose to kill the oldest instances, and now you can see only 2 and 3, and eventually it will kill also instance number 2. It will just take time. It doesn't kill all of them. It takes about 60 seconds, no, exactly 60 seconds for cooldown between killing instances. And last question, can I share auto-scaling groups between projects? So no, auto-scaling groups are per project. This is why it's very easy to automate that using Terraform, for example, and just give the Terraform each one of the projects and run it. So so this is it for auto-scaling group. I think it's a great tool to start with when you're launching your cloud. And I'll be more than happy to receive offline questions from you guys and hear that you're actually using that. And if you have any queries or any interested use cases for me, I'll be more than happy to hear it. So thank you very much, Sharon.
Thank you very much, Liaz, and thank you everyone for joining, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.